The River Nile was central to the lives of the ancient Egyptian people. So very early on, they mastered the skills of boat building. Initially, they created papyrus boats, which were essentially rafts. They were made from cut papyrus reeds tied together with rope into bundles. They used boats like this when they were out fishing, for example. The net here between the two papyrus boats, overflowing with fish. They continued to make boats of papyrus throughout the Pharaonic period, but as soon as they could, they were creating fabulous boats made of wood. The Nile flows from south to north. They used oars to make that journey from the south northwards. We know that from Luxor to Cairo, the journey would have taken some 12 to 20 days, depending on the time of year. And strong winds blowing from the north in the spring and autumn could cause serious delays to navigation. The use of a large oar at the stern of the vessel gave some steerage and enabled navigation of a more precise course to avoid any obstacles or mud banks in the river. The journey from north to south would be done with the sail up, making use of the northerly winds. We know that from Cairo to Luxor in antiquity, it would have taken about 13 days in a large boat, assuming that the sailing was done during daylight hours and the wind was sufficient. Masts were designed to be lowered when not in use. Sails were of heavy linen or sometimes matting. We know the boat builders of ancient Egypt. The overseers of the boat builders were highly regarded. This one, Anqua, was so important he could afford a statue made of granite. He has his carpenter's adze over his shoulder. We see on the walls of tombs not only representations of boats, but also the boat building process. The Egyptian acacia is a hard wood and was suitable for boat building. The maximum length for a plank of acacia is 2.5 meters though. So the ancient Egyptians needed to import cedar from Lebanon in order to build boats with planks of over 20 meters. The ancient Egyptian boat builders used adzes, initially with copper blades, but after 2000 BC, they were producing bronze blades. The scenes are detailed of the creative process of boat building. Planks were tied together with rope made from flax, halfa grass, and esparto grass. When wet, the wood expanded and rope shrunk, providing a watertight seal between the planks. We even have the boats themselves, surviving from very early times. They survive because some pharaohs chose to be buried with boats alongside their pyramids. King Khufu of the Great Pyramid had this solar boat buried in 1,224 parts. It has been put back together in modern times. The boat had been built with the planks sewn together with rope passing through slots cut in those planks. This is ancient rope tied in a knot, surviving from some 4,500 years ago. The boat buried alongside the pyramid of Khufu was what we call a solar boat. And that's because the sun god of ancient Egypt is represented traveling in a boat of this very particular form. At either end, we see the boat is fashioned as if papyrus. Any ceremonial journey being made on the River Nile might be done as the sun god traveled through the skies in a papyriform boat.